Ladies and gentlemen, another way that data transmission checks for errors is through checksum. Let's have a little look at how this works. So the checksum basically checks to see if the data sent from one computer to another is corrupt. We've looked at this before in other examples. So, how does it work? Now let's do an example that we're sending a byte of data. So we've got 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, 4 bit, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which equals a byte. And let's imagine that is what we're sending to another computer. There you go. Now this is fascinating, I'm sure you're going to agree. Before we begin, let's imagine, or let's work out what's the maximum number we can send in a byte. So, let's do our placeholder values. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. What's the maximum value we can send in a byte? Well, if we did a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, that would be the biggest number we could send as a byte. But what does that equal? So I want you to convert that to denary for me. So if you add up all the numbers at the top, it's going to equal, you got it, 255. Now, when we send our data to the other computer, which is this dude here, so I don't know why I'm drawing out another computer again, it will see that as a byte. The computer will. And it will check to see whether or not the value which has been sent is 255, which is the maximum it can ever be for a byte, or less. So the example we're using here, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, can you add that up and turn that into denary for me? Okay, if you've done that, the answer should be, pause the video and work it out if you haven't, 74. 64 plus 8 plus 2. And that will be the number which the computer will check. And if it equals 74, we're good. And that's called the checksum. Another example would be if this was a 1 here, and the byte was sent, and the other computer checks to see what it is, it should equal 75. And the other computer will check that. Does it equal 75? Yep. And that's the checksum. But what would happen, let me just clear the screen for a second. What would happen if, when we send out data, it sends it out as a byte plus 1, so 9 bits. So you've got 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and 256. Our computer is still expecting 1 byte. So what's the maximum number 1 byte could ever be? The biggest number? If you add up and put all ones in here, 255. So straight away we see that this is bigger than 255 because this number is 256 plus 64 plus 8 plus 2. So it's bigger than 255. So our computer needs to deal with it in a different way.